reason I'm up here is to tell you guys my story. So here goes. I woke up like every morning, like a 6-year-old would do. Woke up with my brother, went outside and, had a bowl of Wheaties, had a little bit of milk in it, watched some Power Rangers, it was awesome. Before school, my mom and her boyfriend came out of the room and grabbed my brother's hand and I, and we got changed and we got dressed and we put our backpacks on. Way to school we went. We walked to school about a couple blocks and we got to school. We gave our mom and her boyfriend a kiss and a hug and we went inside. And it wasn't like every other day, because normally when I walked into school I got my backpack put in my cubby, but my teacher told me that's not the way it's going to happen today. She told me, Brandon, you need to go down to the principal's office. As a 6-year-old, you really don't understand what that means. You don't understand why this stuff is happening, so you do what you're told. And when I got there, my brother was sitting there, and he was in tears, so I grabbed his hand. Neither of us knew what was going on. The principal said, I need to take you somewhere, so she took us to Family and Children's Services in Cambridge on Hesper Road, right by the police station. We walked in, my mom was sitting on a chair, hands over her eyes and tears. We went over and gave her a hug. We didn't really understand what was going on. Again, being that young, you don't understand the circumstances. Went over and gave her a hug, and at that point she told us, Brandon, you're never going to live with me again. You need to go live in a foster home. We didn't understand, so we started crying. Now what I left out, I want you guys to fully understand and grasp the concept of, is this man that my mom brought into her house, her boyfriend, he wasn't a good figure. This man that my mom brought into her house abused my brother and I physically, sexually, and emotionally. Every night for 2 years. Now picture this, as a 5 to 6-year-old, when you're going to bed, you fear that you may have nightmares. Unfortunately, the nightmares for us is when we woke up. When this man opened up our door in the middle of the night, came in and grabbed one of us. That was reality. And unfortunately, when I came into foster care, I didn't know what right and wrong was. I didn't understand what was happening. At that age, when something like that happens every single night for 2 years, you just assumed it would be normal. And that's what the scary part is when that happened so frequently, I did not know what was right, what was wrong. So when I came into foster care, it was a shock that somebody could live a life differently. And now coming into foster care, expanding on that a little bit, it's not an easy road, because growing up in foster care, we moved around a lot. And let me talk to you guys about my brother. My brother's not like many of us. My brother is mentally and physically challenged. He has cerebral palsy and a mindset of a 7-year-old. Now take that into consideration when you think about this man who came in the middle of the night and raped my brother and I and beat us, and one of us was mentally and physically challenged. That's kind of the life I grew up in. Now the expectations of kids in foster care shocked me, and still does to this day, is the fact that we're not expected to pass high school. We're not expected to go to university. We're not told you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a police officer. That's not really what the expectation is. The expectation is we're probably not going to pass high school. We're probably going to end up incarcerated. We're probably going to end up on the streets or on drugs or addicted to some kind of antidepressant. Unfortunately, I didn't feel like that was going to be the future for me. That wasn't the expectations I set for myself. I wanted to be something in life. I wanted to hold on to something. And right now I'm still on the road to becoming something, but listen to me when I say that not many kids are in the position I am. Not many kids have the opportunity to stand in front of you guys and talk to you about the successes that I've had, but also the struggles. Now when I came in to foster care, I moved around a lot, like I said, because not many people could take on my brother, who needed constant supervision and needed constant help. So we moved around a lot, and at that point, as a child, when you're moving from family to family, the only thing you can feel is, why don't they love me? What's wrong with me? Why am I moving so often, and why these people don't want me in their house, and why when I look across the street and I see kids playing in the park and their mom and dad giving hugs and kisses, why was I never part of that? The expectations, again, for kids, is not to pass high school. My dad, at the age of 10, my foster dad, who I live with now, and I love him to death, he's an addictions counselor. The one thing he told me was you have two choices in life, and I want you guys to take these two choices and use them in your everyday experiences. The first choice is you can either be the victim. The second choice is you can do something about it. Sure, I might have had a tough life growing up. Sure, I might have gotten a lot of trouble growing up. But I could have sat there and be like, oh, what was me? I'm going to let the welfare system take care of me, or I'm going to do something about it. I get out of my seat, go do something. Go help people. Do what I'm good at. Do what I want to influence people every single day and talk to people about the choices they have, the choices that make influence way more than just yourself. At the University of Waterloo, playing football, I understood that when obviously some of you guys heard about the steroid scandal, and just the choices that were made there not only affected the people that were on steroids, but affected the people that came in years and years after, like myself. Again, at that point, I could have played the victim and said, you know what, that's just the way it's going to be, but I'm going to get up and do something about it. So today you guys have a great staff, you have a great school, you've got great opportunities. Every day in class, you guys have the opportunity to better yourself, to learn, to appreciate what you have. Understand that you either have the choice to be the victim. Hey, I got a B- on a test. Is that okay with me? Or do I want to do something? I was talking to my dad last night, and he told me one thing that he sees in a lot of kids nowadays is the fact that a lot of kids are okay with being mediocre. A lot of kids look at the negatives. If I were to ask people in this room, what are some of your weaknesses? I bet you could list off 4 or 5 right off the top of your head. So I'm not good at writing, not good at singing, not good at dancing. Got good moves though. But some of you guys can list off 4 or 5 right away. But if I were to ask you what your strengths were, I bet you give me 2 or 3. Focus on what you guys can do and learn from those. Don't be the victim. Don't say I can only do this. What was me? And take a step back. Do something about it. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.